Every group has that friend who has recently bought a property and can't stop bragging about it. And all your friends don't stop talking about how beautiful the house looks. But ever wondered if buying a property actually makes sense in 2026? Let's dive into this today by pitting two friends with different life choices and comparing those choices over 20 years to see who made the wiser choice. Now, just to be clear, this is a simplified scenario using average numbers to help explain the bigger picture. Real life can look very different depending on the market, timing, and personal decisions. On one side, we have Jason. He buys a rental property. And Jackson, on the other hand, puts his savings into a broad market investment fund. Each thinks they've just outsmarted the system. Jason believes property always wins. Jackson says compounding makes you rich while you sleep. But both forget something. Time is a cost, and math doesn't care about emotions. Let's play this out over 20 years with equal footing. Same income, same city, just two very different choices. They both start with $40,000 in savings and earn around $60,000 a year. Jason uses 10% down, $40,000, to buy a $400,000 rental home, a modest two-bedroom in an average neighborhood. That means he takes a loan of about $360,000. At a 5% interest rate over 30 years, his monthly mortgage comes out to roughly $1,930. He rents the home for $2,100 a month, leaving him about $170 in positive cash flow before taxes, insurance, and maintenance. And that's an important detail, because numbers like this can look good on paper, but real-world expenses almost always change the picture. It's thin, but on paper, it's cash flow positive. Jackson, meanwhile, invests his $40,000 in a diversified global fund and commits to depositing $300 each month. No loans, no tenants, no phone calls about a leaky pipe in the middle of the night, just slow, automatic growth. At first, Jason feels like he's winning. Rent checks arrive, the mortgage is shrinking, and he owns something real. He talks about how good his tenants are at every party and the $170 he makes every month. The house pays for itself, he brags to his friends, hiding the fact that he has to work 2 hours on weekends to cut the grass because the tenants don't want to. Jackson's investment grows quietly, $40,000, then $42,000, then $44,000. No drama, no brag-worthy milestones. He just listens to Jason talk. Jason feels rich when he talks to his friends and colleagues. Jackson feels invisible. At the end of year one, Jason has collected about $25,000 in rent. His mortgage payments total just over $23,000. On paper, it looks like he's ahead, but the details tell a different story. Property taxes take about $2,600. Insurance adds another $1,000. A small repair here, a minor fix there, and suddenly that profit shrinks fast. And this is actually a relatively smooth year. In reality, unexpected costs can be higher and more frequent. After everything, Jason is barely breaking even. But he doesn't see it that way. He sees a house under his name. He sees a loan balance slowly dropping. He sees progress. And that feeling matters more to him than the spreadsheet. Meanwhile, Jackson has added $3,600 over the year into his investments. With market growth, his portfolio sits somewhere around $44,000 to $46,000. No stress, no decisions, no surprises. It doesn't feel exciting, but it is progress. After 3 years, Jason has collected about $75,600 in rent. He's paid nearly $70,000 to the bank. That's about $5,600 before maintenance. But after insurance, taxes, a new fridge, and one empty month, Jason pockets maybe $1,000 or $2,000 total. Reality barely covers a short trip. Meanwhile, Jackson has contributed $10,800 and grown his balance to around $53,000 to $55,000. Jason faces the usual bumps: rising property taxes, a minor roof repair, and repainting for new tenants. He raises rent to $2,300, but inflation has pushed every single bill higher too. After all the costs, his actual return settles somewhere around 4 to 5% annually on his original $40,000 investment.
Jackson's account crosses $80,000. He hasn't done a single thing to manage it. No hammers, no paint, no stress.
Jason's wealth is built through effort, paint cans, and patience. Jackson's through quiet compounding. 10 years have passed. After a decade, the house has appreciated modestly, about 2.5% yearly, to roughly $500,000 in value. Jason's remaining loan balance is around $320,000, leaving him about $180,000 in equity. But along the way, he spent $20,000 to $25,000 on maintenance and major repairs. And this still doesn't include things like transaction costs, potential vacancies beyond assumptions, or the value of his time managing the property. His wealth grew, yes, but it demanded time, capital, and a tolerance for stress. Jackson's portfolio, meanwhile, totals about $130,000 to $140,000, built from about $76,000 invested over 10 years. Different tools, similar results, so far. But here's where things split. 20 years later, Jason's property, still appreciating at roughly 3% a year, is now worth about $720,000. He owes around $210,000, giving him about $510,000 in equity. But between taxes, upkeep, and major repairs over time, roof, heating system, repainting, appliances, he spent nearly $80,000 maintaining the property. His total lifetime cash flow adds another $40,000 to $50,000, bringing his total real estate wealth to roughly $550,000 to $560,000. Jackson, with consistent investing, has contributed $108,000. If he had increased his monthly contribution to $400, he'd be closer to $440,000 in total contributions plus growth. A small change in consistency compounds massively over time. And just like real estate, market investing also comes with risks, downturns, volatility, and emotional discipline. Both paths work, but they reward different values. Property ownership trades debt, time, and effort for control and leverage. Investing steadily trades patience for flexibility and simplicity. Jason worked for his wealth. Jackson let his system work for him. Neither lost, but they lived very different financial lives along the way. The smartest investment isn't the one that feels exciting, it's the one that still works, after you count everything.